This is a structural map for senior sales professionals who are already doing well but feel capped in a way that effort alone doesn't fix. And if that describes you, you will probably think this lands pretty well. So the main problem is most high performing sales professionals don't actually have an income problem. What they actually have is a structural problem. And what I see over and over again is people with strong professional networks and with credibility and deal access, all of it is trapped. All that value is literally trapped in a time-based compensation package. And even when your income is high, the problem is it resets every quarter. And so this creates three very distinct traps. Let's go over these traps one at a time. So the first one is monetizing time instead of position. The second one is depending on a single comp plan or employer. And the third is confusing activity with leverage. More calls, more content, more meetings, more noise. And this is interesting because none of this is about motivation. It's structural, and that distinction matters. And so let's take a look at this next page, because this next page is the entire crux, the entire thesis. And if you see here, this is the leverage map. All right, so on the left-hand side, you'll see time, and you get paid for your effort, and income is capped because there's only so many hours in the day, right? The next is position. If you move over to the right, one is position, and this is where you have trust, where you have access, where you have credibility, and this is where great sales professionals typically stop. And leverage, if you move to the right, it only exists here. And this is when you monetize trust indirectly through referral-based high margin relationships that don't require fulfillment or constant selling. So if income only exists when you're actively selling, you don't have leverage, you have a well-branded job. And so this is not about getting another business or starting another job. That's not the goal. The goal is not coaching. The goal is not more activity. The goal is quiet leverage, meaning your existing position starts to work for you without becoming your identity or consuming your entire life. And for some people, this becomes a parallel income stream. And for others, it becomes optionality where you can walk into Q4 knowing that you're not dependent on a single comp plan. I wanted to show you, one very simple real world example of what leverage actually looks like and not in theory. So as you know, businesses already go to banks to fund their growth. That part is not new. But what most people don't realize is that banks pay referral fees for qualified introductions because banks don't have distribution. They don't have a sales force. And here's a very simple analogy to think about. If you think about residential real estate, right? A home buyer needs financing, so the realtor introduces a mortgage broker who connects them to a lender, right? But nobody thinks of the realtor or the mortgage broker as selling loans. They're just connecting trust. The same exact dynamics exist in commercial markets, except that instead of for homes, it's for business purchases. So one common category is asset-based purchases. So just think of something like vehicles or systems or specialized equipment. And the leverage comes from acting as the connector. You introduce a qualified opportunity, the lender handles the work, and you get to participate in the economics.